Cool, yeah, you're ready whenever.
Awesome. All right, so we are 3 weeks out from Roth. We're doing this preview a little bit soon. We'll probably have a few thoughts just leading into the race as well, maybe a bit casually, but we're doing this. We got Andrew out here getting a lot of cool training content. This is my first full Ironman build, or full distance build, I should say, and that to me has been pretty cool overall to just see, because last year when I did Ironman Arizona, it was just a few weeks after 70.3 St. George, and I took basically a week of recovery, a week to do Ironman training, and then a week of taper. So I really only had a week to kind of test the systems and hope for the best for a full distance triathlon. This time, after Ibiza a few weeks ago, we had about 6 to 8 weeks in between. I forget exactly how long, but we were able to take rest and then start the build, which was really just injecting a lot of volume and switching over to make sure that, you know, I kind of dial in on my strength aspect and my strength endurance. And the swim was pretty solid coming out of it. It's taken a little while to just kind of settle back into some training. The bike has progressed nicely, and I'm getting a lot of confidence off of that, and feel like I've done at least one ride, if not a couple, that have been better than my Ironman Arizona race ride, which is super cool to see. And then the run, I think, is really, we've worked on a lot of volume and just a lot of Ironman pace now, and that overall I think is kind of the most exciting, because if I could come off the bike with, you know, relatively fresh legs for a full distance and be able to run a marathon at my goal, like Roth pace, I think that makes me super competitive. And that kind of brings us to the whole point of this video, is just what do I think about Roth 3 weeks out with maybe a week and a half left or so to really put in some training before I leave for the race itself. And gotta say, like, coming into this weekend, like, I've just kind of steadily built, but this is kind of where I feel like I'm kind of really getting into the training and have felt really pretty solid despite the high load. So have been able to hit swim, bike, and runs to, you know, get the confidence up and just know that the body is there. And when you take a look at the Roth start list, which in 3 weeks time can definitely change, because we've seen races all over the world this year just have athletes drop off the list. Just, it's crazy, because guys are just coming so close to that edge right now that they're taking half a step over and then having to take time down. So we've tried to be a bit conservative, leave a little room to, you know, be aggressive, maybe in the Kona build or something like that. But it puts me, I think, in a good position going into Roth, where there's quite a few fast swimmers, which we're going to need, because, you know, Sam Laidlow, obviously he can be kind of hot or cold, but you never count him out after what he did in Kona and raced super well in Gran Canaria. So I feel like he's going to be one of the guys who's really drilling the pace at the front, because he's not afraid to go for it, and that's the train you want to be on, because, yeah, you got Daniel Baekkegaard, who could be up there too, and then a couple other guys I think who will at least swim fast. And with what I've seen as a 12-meter draft rule in Roth this year, I think things might stay a little bit closer together. You might drag people along, because behind we're going to have Magnus Ditlev and Joe Skipper, to name just a couple guys. I mean, there's Bradley Weiss, you got Sebi in the race, Patrick Langa, just tons of guys who are maybe in that second or third swim pack, who are going to be trying to charge the bike or charge the marathon to catch up front. So I think my game plan for the day doesn't really change from any other race, but it's to basically try and stay at the front. And this is where I'm kind of still a rookie at this distance. I have one Ironman under my belt, and, you know, had a really good day, and race by race went sub 8, ran a 2:45 marathon, which is good, but it wasn't good enough to compete for the win. So I learned a lot, and I think that this big build will really help. So I'm really looking forward to just going out there and just seeing all of the work that I put in and how it translates. And I think that Roth is going to be one of those full distance races that you're just going to have to race and see what happens. Like, you want to put yourself at the front, but you don't want to be dumb either, because it's a 7.5 hour race. And so if I'm, you know, pretty much at my limit on the bike and we still got half the bike to go, there's going to be a game time decision of what do I do. And that's just where I don't think I know even where my limits are at this race. So Roth might be, a limit finder, but I'm feeling really good about it. I'm excited. I think Roth itself is a super exciting race. It's like kind of the epitome of triathlon. Like, people get super excited about it. There's tons of fans there. It's like a world championship race without the world championship title. So I'm super pumped, feeling confident, but it's full distance. You never know what's going to happen. So I've just got to go in there, kind of let go, race my race, and try and be at the front as much as possible and make the most of the opportunity. Because after that, then, it's on to shorter things for a little while. So this is my one full distance of the year, and I don't think I could have picked a better race to do this year with how it's fit into my schedule and just the motivation for training and kind of everything going on right now. Like, I've really enjoyed the training block overall. Yeah, I think Roth is one of those. The challenge race there is it's incredible. And from a US perspective, I don't think we see enough of it. And I've always kind of kept at least one close eye on it because it just produces incredible racing, amazingly fast times. And it's just kind of got this, like, you almost just say, like, it's Roth. It's got this mystique about it. And I think especially from a US standpoint, because Europeans go in hot, they race super hard. And honestly, like, it's one of those classics. It's one of those, like, hallmarks of the triathlon season that everybody goes, everybody watches it. Like, it's one of the big races. And I haven't checked, in a little while, so I could be off on this. We'll have to double check, but I mean, it's been probably like 20-ish years, 15, 20 years since an American has won it. So, I mean, I treat it kind of like a world champs. Like, this would be amazing to go in there and go over to Europe, which is never super easy, but something that I'm not afraid of since I've, done the ITU circuit, the World Triathlon Circuit, and traveled a bunch internationally. It's not really foreign to me, pun intended. But it is a little bit more difficult. It's difficult to leave the family for 10 days and all of that. So it just gives me that extra motivation and to go on there kind of on, Europe's turf and just challenge those guys who maybe don't have to travel as far, maybe feel a little bit more at home. Not that that really matters. Like, I don't really care. Like, I like racing anywhere, but it's just not many US guys always travel to go race like this because it is more difficult. And I guess, it's the same thought that European guys have to put in to come to the US to race. So I just think it's one of those bucket list races that you've got to do. And I've been lucky enough to do a lot of bucket list races and race and, win some bucket list races as well. So this one would be super special.